Hello and welcome. I'm Master Lama Rasaji, and this is our Wednesday edition of Rasaji Speaks. Don't forget, Sister Lynette's back up today on the gathering. A lot of people will be sharing about that, and we'll have some guests on tomorrow's PFL that I know you'll want to tune into about the power that happens at an ascension tour, and this one was definitely very, very powerful. Today's lesson will be the secrets of Enoch, exploring hidden wisdom in the ancient texts. All right, so let's look at a little bit about Enoch, right? Uncle Enoch, as we call him in the Lamasery. The book of Enoch is apocalyptic in the theme, and it discusses Enoch's experience with falling angels, divine secrets, and the faith of the human soul after death. Its various religious message reflect the mindset of a society over several centuries, leading to doubts about all that was said. The book of Enoch was unique material on the origin of demons and the Nephilim, and some angels from heaven explained. The Genesis flood was normally necessarily prophetic explosion, thousands years reign of the Messiah. Well, I mean, there were fallen angels, and some of the fallen angels did mate with different women that were the parts of the Son of Man. And in that process, we developed giants, demons on the earth, and they began to scorch the earth because once the angels fell, all this power that they had for good had turned to power for darkness, right? And of course, Archangel Michael and a lot of his angels began to come in and cleanse that. They ended up destroying the physical manifestations of the Nephilim, or the giant monsters that were created by the intercession of falling angels and women as parts of the Son of Man in that process, right? But that being said, the spirit of darkness of the giants till this day is still here. So that's a lot of it. So one of their punishments from Abba was that you will never manifest yourself again, not in 3D, ever pulled from 3D. So you can really mess up. But the spirit of the darkness of them was allowed. And I believe at the root of that darkness is probably what has the most, at least the Lamasery believes, into children and tunnels and stuff, that darkness. But that darkness cannot be recreated. It was out or during this time that astrological, cosmological, calendar information began to have through the angelic mediators. They were not supposed to share that with humankind, but they did. And because of that, the angels and the demons, the falling angels, were again cursed for a long, long time. The book of Enoch really teaches us that humanity, the resolving of the enchantments, taught humans to make knives and swords and shields and devices where they begin to develop this kind of gladiator martial art style to actually try to offset and balance these giants. These giants were huge. They were like 60, 70 foot tall, some of these giants, 20 foot wide. If you can imagine, it would make the Hulk actually small. And at different times, for different reasons, giants have walked the earth. A lot of people don't know that, but they absolutely have. Enoch was taken by God, as it says in Genesis and again in Hebrews, because God was doing with him something similar that he initially did with Elijah. And that was taking them up, so protecting them against the wrath that was to come. So as we know that Noah, became the grandchild, Methuselah's son, Noah was. And that was to give semblance of the ark and to replenish the land. Pretty much everything was covered in the flood. It was about 75 to 80% of the landmass that was covered by the flood. 40 days and 40 nights. I mean, you can't imagine. I mean, look, if it's hard for you to grasp, then look at what Milton and Helene did to Tennessee, Carolina, and Florida this past year. And that was 1 to 2 days of rain. And the force that came through Asheville and the Carolinas was unbelievable. Now imagine that continuing for another 38 days. And it started there. And then when it began to stop, the torrential rains, it still misted rains for a while afterwards. It was a good 120 days, can you imagine? Before the first 1,000 feet on the earth that was covered, elevation, was finally exposed again. Of course, it was all by that time with the water and the wind and everything had been resculptured and a good part of it wiped out. But 12 to 1,600 years later, Boganathar will walk the fruit tiles of that virgin forest in China. Over the years, as Enoch learned everything that he did from the heavenly host and from the angels of light, especially Michael and Gabriel and Raphael, those three that he had a close intercession with. And those three stay around Lamaji constantly if you haven't seen them already, with Hanuman right in the center. And then, of course, around like a spiral clock face, you can see a lot of Lamaji's incarnations for people who have eyes to see and ears to hear. After Boganathar had gathered the 12, Enoch returns and realizes that the Tai Chi Gong will be the redemption of this age in a more subtle level that the flood was, 4,500 years before. So you got to remember that. That's really powerful. We prepared the soil, we toiled the soil of human consciousness actually to prepare for this age, the portal of Shiva, the 33 years. I know what's happening after the 33 years. I haven't been allowed yet to reveal it, but you want to pay attention because as we move deeper into it, Lamaji will start to share with you what is going to happen on the other side of the 33 years of judgment, ascension, and transformation. It's very important for us to get the lamasery up, and it would have already been serving humanity for about 15 to 20 years before this happens. To get a good 100 plus wellness centers up in America, another plus 100 wellness centers up in surrounding areas across the world. light centers up right in the belly of the beast, bringing light right to cities like Miami and Atlanta and Nashville and all throughout the world, Manhattan, Seattle. Incredible what will be done. We will be ready for what will transpire. Gardens will be grown by our people organically, livestock, ranches that will emulate what we're doing on the 3,000 plus acres. And it will be replicated around the planet in a smaller way, hundreds of acres here, hundreds of acres here, so that we can get ready to take care of our people as we go through the rest of the 30 years of judgment, ascension, and transformation. It's an exciting time, and yet it is a challenging time to be on the earth. As you can see, it's not for the weak at heart. It's not for people with weak stomachs. It's for the bold and adventuresome. In heaven, during the time that Enoch was with Abba, he said that he was preparing his teachings and preparing people that he would connect with, like Boganathar, and teach the 9 pillars of the science of abundance. Give what you want, share what you want to become, pray as if it's all up to Abba, work as if it's all up to you. Always enhance the value of your act, of your service, of your products. And number 5, in all things, be thankful, for then ye shall be made glorious. As we say in Tibet, Baraka Bushide, and praise to Lord Enoch for his incredible teachings and sharing with the children of light his 9 pillars of prosperity. God be with you, and I will see you tomorrow on the Thursday's edition of Rasaji Speaks. God bless you all.